Welcome back, everybody, on a snowy Friday morning. More is coming, so just buckle up for that. Looks like we're going to get hit anywhere 7 inches to a foot. Who knows? Just got to grin and bear it here, and then on the other side of it, it'll melt come hopefully Monday, and then we're back outside doing some spring sports before you know it. We are going to stay inside here for our final guest of the week, because if you missed it, the North Dakota State High School Activities Association earlier this week signed off on a state tournament venue change for next year. The girls' Class A basketball tournament, which was slated to go to Jamestown, instead is going to Bismarck. But not the event center. That's going to be busy with the WDA tournament that first weekend in March. Instead, it's heading to the brand new Babendick Center on the campus of Bismarck State College, which will open later this year, and they will host the State A girls. AD Jason Harris joins us this morning to give us the lowdown on how all this came about, because this is a big-time deal with this many tournaments coming to Bismarck. It's great to see you. Thanks so much for doing this. We were visiting off air that this is almost been in the plan since the arena got the go-ahead to break ground.
As far as the state aid coming?
Yeah.
No, actually, when we were talking off air, I misunderstood a little bit. No. Actually, the high school activities reached out a couple weeks ago and just asked if I had time to kind of show them the event, the Babendick Center, take them on a tour. So I took them through there, and then Matt Fetch reached back out and said, hey, would you have some interest in hosting this if, high school activity signed off on it? And, that's why the Babendick Center was created, obviously for our college athletics, our students on campus, but also a place where, high schools, it's big enough, can hold those type of events. And that's what we want. We want people on our campus. And this is another avenue that really helps.
So when he asked you, Jason, what did you go? What was the first thing that went through your mind on hosting this?
Well, the first thing was, let me check the schedule to make sure we don't have any college things going on there. And where our basketball teams at that point are in the playoffs, and the playoffs have already been set for the Frontier Conference if they're out in Butte, Montana again. The second thing is, I'm the women's basketball coach too, so we got a lot of good people here on campus that I know if I'm not here, will have my back, and we'll run a great tournament. But the other thing was exciting. That's what we want. We want people to want to come play in our Babendick Center, and we're going to make it a great venue, and we're going to, treat it the way it should be treated. It's a state Class A tournament, and we're excited to host it.
So we have some photos here of when you guys posted of a little bit ago, the floor going in and everything. So for people that don't know, what's the seating capacity, and tell us about the amenities that are coming with this arena when it opens up later this year.
Well, it seats 2154. The amenities, the gym is going to be something special for teams to come and play in. We went and bought the NBA system for what we can do digitally on the floor.
Nice.
As far as the graphics, and Dusty Anderson, who's our communications guru, and our marketing, everything that comes with the electronics, let's say, in there. He's really good at it, and he's going to get dialed in, and we're gonna definitely create a special event for these young ladies to come and play in. And we have 8 suites on the top that have been sold to businesses. It's kind of a unique building. I don't think there's one in North Dakota there's some real nice venues in North Dakota, don't get me wrong, but I think this is definitely going to be right up with the top.
I know, visiting with your predecessor and Myron Schultz about this when it got signed off of this is going to be a crown jewel here. Now it's nearing completion. You're there. What is it like to see this come to fruition in the not too distant future?
Well, obviously, as the AD, I'm pretty anxious. I walk in there probably more than they'd like to see me, but the subcontractors are trying to get things done, and the last thing they want is a bunch of us walking in there. But it's hard to keep us all right. The changes you see from week to week and see it come together, it's exciting. It's April 22nd is when they're set to turn the keys over, and we're going to hold graduation in there on May 15th. So So we definitely need it by the end of April. May 6th is the grand opening of it, and we've got a lot of people coming to that. So it's excitement more than anything. Anytime you get something new and something that was much needed on our campus. The Armory has been great, but it's served its purpose. Yeah. So we definitely want this to be a true community center for the community. We have not just the state Class A, but we have 2 boys tournaments coming in there, a district and a regional, the Super 8 regional for the boys. And also in the fall, we have a high school regional volleyball.
Yeah. That's just really, really neat. And for your primary job as women's basketball coach, though, what is that excitement like to recruit to this, knowing, hey, it's going to be a reality next basketball season?
Well, it is exciting, and it's, when you can go out and share with these young ladies that I'm recruiting that, hey, you're going to play in one of the nicest facilities in the state. That's something, Bismarck's a great place to be, and now we have a kind of a crown jewel of a gym in the middle of it to recruit to, and we definitely have a lot of interest. And yeah, as a coach, anytime you have facilities like we have, it helps. I'll put it that way.
So now that this is a reality that you're getting the state A, is preparation already started? Like, what's on the to-do list for that? You have, I know, a million other things you got to worry about, but now you've got to get ready for a state basketball tournament coming next March.
Well, yeah, we do, and we've already had talks about it. Once the high school activities let us know that, yep, it's coming our way. We have a facilities manager, Ross Horner, who him and I have visited already, and we're going to start kind of getting things planned out, working with high school activities. And the nice thing is we at least we get our games to go through before. So logistically, we kind of know what we want to do. But the biggest thing is we want to make sure that those young ladies that come and play in our facility, that it's an awesome environment for them. And it's something that they're going to cherish and remember. And the fans as well. We want them walking out the door saying, wow, that was really awesome.
I remember looking at, Jason, some of the renderings about the suite level, which is just different. I don't know many. Minot has a little bit like that since they renovated the Minot State Dome, but how unique is what you're going to have at the Bavindick Center that just other places just aren't going to have?
Well, I think the thing we have that most is pretty much the fans are pretty much on top of the court for the most part. It kind of, it's, a lot of venues go a little wider. Ours is kind of the opposite. It's going to create a nice, tight, exciting atmosphere. It's going to be loud. And I think it's going to be a different viewpoint than most fans are going to get when they go to the high school games or they go to the other college games. It's just going to be a different look that I think is really, the fans are really going to enjoy.
This has been just a whirlwind out here between this, opening this, the move to the Frontier. I mean, can you describe what your job is like on a day-to-day basis?
Well, we'll call it a good busy, but it is. A lot of meetings, and obviously you guys have had us on your show before. We have football coming in the fall of 27. So it's the sports or school, we're growing at a rapid race or a quick rate. So just making sure we keep up and getting all the sports dialed in. Obviously with everything going on and the weather you talked about already, it's posed a few challenges for our spring sports right now. We're looking the region to where can we go play, and all the coaches or colleges are in the same boat, but it's a good time to be at Bismarck State. A lot of good things happening.
We had Coach Stutzreim on prior to Christmas, so give us an update on how the challenge of building the football team has gone over the last 4 months.
Well, he's doing a great job. We're going to have probably 40 young men on campus in the fall of 26 here.
Nice.
Our biggest issue is making sure these young men aren't at the KOA campground, because we just broke ground this week for a new 352 bed dorm. And that's going to be ready in the fall or the summer of 27. So we are a little challenged with finding a place for all our athletes and all our students. The waiting list has started for the dorms, so we got to find some places to live.
Again, that's a good problem to have, I guess, right?
For a college standpoint, for an AD, it's not so great, but it is. I mean, we're definitely figuring out a solution, and we, like I said, there's a lot of good people on campus that are helping us navigate these waters as well.
How much, and you're out there, people are aware, like in Bismarck, of, hey, the changes that are happening that are now interested that maybe weren't beforehand, Jason? They're like, okay, I want to go to see a BSC game, or I'm invested now that come this fall or next fall, the fall of 27, I'm definitely on board with football coming back.
It has been. The community's embraced it. And they've kind of, like you said, they've embraced all the sports up here.
Yeah.
And new facilities, it makes recruiting easier, and it also makes recruiting regionally a little easier, because at the end of the day, we Dr. Langgang, who I've worked with quite extensively from the college here, he kind of said it best. He goes, you got to win North Dakota when you're recruiting. And that's something that we've made a point here in all our sports to really focus on, and we feel good where we're going with that. Football's definitely a big part of that, and Chris is doing a great job of doing that as well, as long as all our other coaches are getting on that page as well.
Last thing before I let you go, I'm a helmet jersey nerd. Do you have the helmet ready yet? Is that still in the prototype of what it's going to look like?
It is getting pretty close. The colors are kind of what we're debating on right now.
Okay.
But we just put our first order in here, or it's coming in about a week, for our first 80 helmets and shoulder pads to get coming. So we're pretty excited about the way it's going to look, and we just got to get through the marketing and the branding and all that stuff. I thought you just went and ordered a helmet. I found out that doesn't quite work that way. There's a few hoops we got to get through, but we want it done right, and we want to make sure it's a true symbol of Bismarck State.
All right, let's make a deal. When you're ready to announce them, you come back on the show and you debut it. Can you do that for us?
That we can.
All right,
you bet.
That sounds like a plan. I appreciate the time. Thanks so much for doing this. Have a great weekend, and congrats, and we'll be checking in again soon, all right?
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Jason Harris, AD and women's basketball head coach at Bismarck State College, as the Mystics get that much closer. I mean, Brody, if you could cue up that video again of the court. It looks fantastic. The other renderings, and he's right, if they are, the seats are going to be right on top of the action. And I know the folks in Jamestown were not thrilled with me how I've said about the last couple of years about them hosting it. And it had nothing to do with the city, not the people, none of that. Frankly, I thought the Civic had, I know that they spent money, they got a new floor, and they tried to, that admirable in its own right. What I heard more than anything, especially with the A being there this past last month, was lack of hotel rooms, or the overcharging of hotel rooms, and then lack of things to do when you have 8 teams there. I already saw a couple of coaches when this story came out yesterday, already were thrilled with the move. And again, it's going to be taken as a shot at Jamestown, and it's not. But when you host a event like the State A basketball tournament, you're bringing teams in, you got to have things for them to do. What are they doing? Like if a team's playing at night, okay, so what are they doing from 8 a.m. in the morning? Coaches wonder this all the time, till we play at 6:30. Minot has the mall to go to. There's other things to do. Obviously, Fargo and Bismarck have multiple things for teams to do. And I'm not saying those are the only sites that can host or cities that can host, but I'm pretty close. Look at it now. Football, wrestling, track, they don't move. I'll take my sites for the spring sports here when we have more time, because we got to wrap up this segment, but it makes all that more sense. And it's going to, that amount of seating, what do you say, 2,100 will be perfect. I always thought, frankly, if you're going to be in Jamestown, the Newman Center would be the site to go. This is comparable, I would think, to how big the new basketball, and it's not new anymore, the arena in Jamestown, to what they're opening up at Bismarck State College. So next year, scoring at home, you have the WDA that same weekend as the Class A girls will be happening in Bismarck. The WDA will be at the Event Center, and then you'll have the Class A going on at the new arena at Bismarck State. they can handle it because they have that many hotels and things to do. But also next year, they will have the boys B, I believe, is back in Bismarck because the boys A is going to Minot. So they'll have plenty on their plates next year. And as mentioned as well, region volleyball tournament will be out there next fall. Good stuff. All right, let's break. We come back. We'll wrap things up. Week is done. We'll get you ready for a fantastic sports weekend highlighted by the Final Four. That's coming up when we come back.